and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. Hey, friends.
All right, we did it. Oh, my camera's high. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. There we go. We did it. We're streaming. We're back. MVP Summit over. Coffee made. Can't see the chat because this thing's over here. Woo. We did it. Hey, Kim. How's it going? Also, Alfry. Alpha Fry. Thank you for your subscription via the Twitch Prime. I appreciate that, coming in hard with the Prime. Of course, all the money will be donated to Girls Who Code, which is rad. Cool. Old Dev, welcome to the chat. Also, thanks for being a C# Fritz subscriber with one of my favorite emoticons ever, basically. Immortal, how's it going? A lot of awesome people in the chat. I'm pretty excited. I redid some of my stream just a little bit. Always modifying a whole bunch of stuff. Lashlan, all up in the chat room. How's it going, buddy? Got my brew. Brew accomplished. Brewage. That's pretty high res. Look at that. .net, all up in the hype train. Ooh, delicious. I think more if I hop into more chat rooms, do more stuff. People seem to be finding who's this jam, guys. Now, pretty excited. If you watch me brew some coffee, you saw something very exciting that I just did. I printed off some new stickers, potentially for awesome rad people in the chat. I don't know yet, but I'm really excited about this. And Chris will be probably really excited about this. But I got little Mott stickers. Look at that. Which is pretty awesome. So this is like by my good friend Antonio. Did these awesome 8-bit versions back in the day. And I went to Sticker Mule, and I have a few other ones, clear cut ones coming too. And I was like, I need to test these out. So I got a whole bunch of little Motzes. Pretty good. My camera looks better today too. I don't know. I readjusted some things on it, but yeah, little Mott stickers. Pretty rad. I'm in a sticker mood. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna distribute them yet or how that's gonna work. But an army of tiny little Motzes. And I need to do something like in the chat, like when something happens or raid happens, like a bunch of Motzes like fall on my head or something like that, which would be ridiculous and cool. And the reason I haven't gone to my Surface yet is because updating Visual Studio. That's happening. Oh, check this out. I also did this. I go to my Surface and then, oh no, secrets. Nah. Pretty great. I've been looking at Suze's stream and I'm just like, oh man, that's super rad. Oh, also we got the music down over there. Boom, coming in live. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, a little contest. I like that. That'd be cool. Yeah, and then little Mott stickers. The problem, they can't be contests, Chris, because in the UK and other places, you know, it's a little bit tricky. Oh, good question. So Old Dev asks, why am I still using preview builds, not the RC? Great question. So I'm using preview builds of Visual Studio 2019 because they're newer than the RC. Well, actually, I'm pretty sure that they're either the same as the RC currently, but when 2019 comes out, then when 2019 comes out, I'll get 16.1 preview or whatever the next preview is, which would be super rad in general. So I'm pretty sure that's the main reason. I think they're the same right now, like I said, but it's like, why not? Why not do the preview? But I should and I will have stable and preview installed side by side, you know, as always. And I guess get rid of 2019 or 2017. Get rid of 2017. That'd be the goal, I guess. So we'll see how that goes. But Mott's is Ancient Coder, welcome. Ancient Coder, check out these stickers. Boom, pretty rad about it. You know, after all the Xamarin stickers that was given out, it was time to go full Mott stickers. Also, oh, Chris NTR with the bits. Bit train coming in hard. Thanks for the bits, buddy. I appreciate that. And of course, those bits, that charity goes to Girls Who Code. Microsoft matches that because we have a cool donation program here at the Microsoft. So yeah, they look super duper. They came out really good. Real high res, real 8-bit. Look at those high res Mott's. Cool. So cool. Yeah. And then we're debating right now a dark Xamarin. There's a dark blue. See that? Dark blue. And also debating a black Xamarin.
Nothing is impossible.
We were at the MVP summit, and a lot of people seem to really like the dark theme Xamarin. So let me know what you guys think. We have a bunch of new Xamarins coming out. We got the purple, got the blue, got the yellow, got the blue, and a few other colors too. But people seem to want that. Oh, Chris NTR, double it for charity. In for double, which means Microsoft is in for double. That's 400 bits going to Girls Who Code. I appreciate that. And R2, my good friend, thank you for your Twitch Prime subscription. 3 months, 2 months in a row. I appreciate that because Twitch only gives you, or Amazon only gives you one of those every single month. So I appreciate that, you sending it my way. That is super duper rad. That is correct.
Nothing is impossible. Hey, friends.
Hey, friends. All right, so now that we got all of our, well, we also had a lot of people chime in. So call out since last stream. Dan Coder, follow. Humble Toolsmith, follow. Simon Kymos follows. Woozer, S2, Dennis, Golden Arms, Travis, Ratipus. That's a funny name. I even got a random subscription. Gastrox, thank you for the for it there. And then of course, thank you Chris NTR and R2 and Alfreifi for the bits and the goodness. So, all right, we're finishing up some stuff today. Just as always, we have no new PRs to Xamarin.Forms or Hanselman.Forms, which is sad. But we're going to continue to work on our podcast details page. We're going to bring in and try to look to see how we can make the podcast details look pretty rad. And then we are going to put in a list of all the podcasts that we have inside of it. We'll generate those up, spin up some dummy details, put those into the user interface, and see where it goes from there. Let's see what's happening over on Visual Studio. It is finishing up, so we're on our way. Also, there's some sweet launch parties. Apparently, it's happening. Let's see, GameStack happened, PlayFab and Visual Studio, Mfractor. Look at that, we got some cool blog news in here. It's kind of nice that in the installer they put dev news because they're like, hey, you got to wait a little bit. So, boom. Let's see what we're on. Release notes. A preview. Preview 4.3. That is what we are on. And I'm pretty sure that... hey, Bill. Ashton, how's it going, buddy? So, RC. These were released sneakily on the same day. So, one assumes that they're very, very, very similar. We can look to see if the top issue's fixed. There we go. Yep. It's the same. So, right now they're the same. So, actually, I do have the RC. It's just called Preview, and I think they'll branch away. You guys are silly. You guys are silly. Mortal, thank you for the 4-month in a row Twitch Prime subscription, sending it my way. I really, really super duper appreciate that. And we're working on a new emote. My good friend Sven, one of our MVPs, is working on a brand new Minimots emote based off of these bad boy stickers, which is super duper rad. So we do have enough subs currently to unlock number 3 since Twitch opened that up. So I'm really excited for that. All right, let's get into this pup here. Boom, launch. Yeah, so what? I don't even know if this... I just saw a pop-up, and whenever there's a pop-up, I get excited that I need to update stuff. And I probably haven't even updated Visual Studio for like a week. Yeah. So what we did last week over here is we created this super duper rad little modal pop-up for our app, basically. And Hansel Minutes comes up, or whatever podcast you pop up on, you can close it and to get into the details of the podcast. But we don't have any information down here yet. And what we want to do is fill in like the most recent podcasts in a nutshell. That's kind of what we want to do. And this looks pretty good. And probably when we click on the subscribe button, it'll do some things. So let's go into the code. Oh, you know what I ended up doing? That's too funny. So notice I had gotten the pop-up inside of Visual Studio that it was updating, and it told me it was gonna relaunch Visual Studio, but I didn't believe it, and it actually did. So that's really funny. So let's see, things are loading. All right, there we go. Cool. Oh, look at all these things. Yeah, we also put a bunch of things in resources and styles. That's good. It's still loading some stuff. What's it doing? That's good. All right, we also have over here, we have some services. And now that we have our main podcasts on the page, what we're going to do is put in a kind of podcast list. Now, I use... Where's my phone at? There it is. I use Pocket Cast. So I use Pocket Cast, and they just updated not too long ago. So it kind of... They have everything in one big scroll view, which is kind of interesting. This is what their app kind of looks like. We'll put it big here. It's kind of what it looks like. There's a tech meme ride home. Paulie, thank you for the follow. So they have everything kind of, if I scroll up, you can see it kind of scrolls a little bit here, which is interesting. You can search for an episode. Not sure how useful that is, but you could do it. What else can you do? Set notifications, subscribe, do some stuff. You can get more details about it. I think probably putting this in a big old scroll view would work. My fear is scroll views. Yeah, I think their previous app, Kim. Chobo, Nautilus, thank you for the follow as well. I do appreciate that. I think that their previous app looked a little bit better. They material 2'd it, but I'm not sure if that's for the greater good or not. But you know. Oh, let's do something first here. We just released a new version of Xamarin.Forms. Let's update this thing first. A lot of things. Apparently, a lot of things that happened since last week. We have a new humanizer package. We have new Xamarin.Forms visual material packages, just a little spec bump, and Xamarin Essentials 1.10. So I'm a little bit surprised that this doesn't already have it in it. I thought we updated it, no? Did I not, let me go ahead and sync this just in case. Sync. I was like, maybe I did something on a different line. No. They do need a bit more parallax. My fear is, it's been a while since I'm just gonna check everything, by the way, and hit update. We'll see how that goes. My fear here is that if I put everything in a scroll view, the nested scroll view shenanigans, that is my fear in general, is that it will mess up on see, Xamarin.Forms nested view inside scroll usually causes an issue. This is from 2013, so I'm sure that this is going to be great. It'll be super great, I'm sure. Yeah, see, we need this nested scroll enabling. General. I'm pretty sure we can do that inside of... Pretty sure we can. Yeah, Android has a new property like nested scrolling enabled, which we should be able to create an effect for. API 21 plus. Well, we can just target 21 plus. That's fine. I think iOS will work okay too. I think so. Well, we can give it a try. Well, we just updated all of our NuGet, so that went flawless. I like that. All right, let's do this. Changes, update NuGets. Boop. Very warm here, by the way. It's a very warm day in Seattle, so I actually have the window open. So if you hear ambulances and cars and things like that, it's definitely that. R2 asks, who would be best to talk to about questions on VS for Mac 2019's extensibility model? You want to talk to Cody Byer and Chris Hardy. Those are the people you want to talk to. Probably, I don't know, Chris, are you owning VS Mac? I don't know. Probably Cody and Uni are the go-to there. I want to do something else here. I just did a podcast or a Xamarin show with my good friend Alexandra, who is one of our MVPs down in Brazil, and he told me that what would be really beneficial is to make sure that we're including some accessibility in everything. So I figured we would add some automation properties here. And here, what's nice is that labels and buttons and other things have accessibility already baked in. But I figured on this page where we don't have those things, we can add those. So, for instance, up here we have lots of grids and stuff like that, but images are going to need some help here. So let me look at the Xamarin.Forms auto accessibility. There we go. Boop. So, all right, automation properties. Yeah, so there's 4 properties here that we want to be concerned with. This is an interesting. All right, so inaccessibility tree indicates whether the element is accessible to an accessible application. So that you need to set to true. A short description of the element serves as speakable identifier for the element. Help text is a longer description, which can be thought of as a tooltip. Labeled by allows another element to define accessibility information. Oh, that is curious as well. Uh-oh. Alicio, welcome. Oh my, I'm no more subscribed to my channel. Someone hacked my profile and subscribed to a channel with 0 followers. Oh no. Report that to Twitch. I'm sure they'll help out. Oh no. That is not good. So we'll say, is an accessibility tree is true. And then we'll say dot name, and then here we'll say podcast artwork. I think that's what we would want to do for it. There, the label will have the host name, and I think here what you could do is it's going to have names of people. So what you could do is do automation properties dot help text, and then you could say this is a help text. You could say host names, podcast host names.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
There you go. Now that is what I call teamwork right there. That is some love in the community. Kim gifting specifically Alicio that sub, which is rad. Thank you, Kim. And now we get some badge of honor. Alicio coming back. That sucks about the hacking of it. Get that 2-factor auth on. Highly recommended. Definitely do that. Thanks, Kim, for the gifted sub. I appreciate that. Oh no. Well, no. So you should have the streak will be gone. The streak will be gone, but you don't lose your count, Alicio. It's a new thing. So don't worry, you're still there on it. So you still have your 5-month. You just don't have the streak per se, but I'll rep your streak. Don't worry. One other thing that I want to install here, because I also had another MVP on, and we're going to install the XAML styler because I like that a lot. Pretty nice here. This XAML styler is from Team Zavalon. Is super duper rad, and I want to install it because I want to create some cohesiveness, just like an editor config inside of here. So let's actually close down Visual Studio and reopen it here. I was thinking about this as I was typing my stuff. And XAML styler, go to this website here. They have a nice configuration, I think, wiki here on yeah, you can add this external configuration file, which is rad here, which is super duper cool. So you can define the XAML via this external configuration. So all you got to do is do settings.xaml styler. Modify this. So I'm going to go into my Hanselman code. Go to... Oh, we're also playing around with .NET community stickers for people that we feature on the .NET community stand-up. I need it to be a little bit darker than this, obviously, but like these cool little stickers that say like I was featured on .NET Community Stand Up. Just kind of thinking around that a little bit. Let's go to File Location. Boom. And then here, what we should be able to do is we call it settings.xaml styler. New. Oops. Delete. New text file. And then it'll trickle down too. From my understanding, we can open that pup in VS Code. Yeah, so yeah, I just learned about this styler config thing. So I have it on, but if you have this inside of your package, you can then, these are the defaults, but we can modify these if I decide I want to change it. It will respect this on a per project or a per solution late setting, which is cool. Is it done? All right, it's done. All right, let's open that back up again. Doop. Yeah, super duper cool. It's a cool little project. So I learned about all these things the other day, and I was like, yesterday I recorded 7 Xamarin shows with MVPs, and I was like, I need to go do all these things, like add accessibility, and I need to do all these things. So try to build these into my normal workflow, because like, why not? Plug this to get some juice. Right. All right. So cool. So we have a button. I think close is probably good. And then probably, I'm curious if like automation properties dot help text, and I could probably put inside of here like close podcast details page. Like just a little bit like there's a close button that says close, but what are you closing, I guess? And same thing probably true here for the subscribe button. And if I, so okay, so now if I right click the XAML styler, it says format XAML, boom. It'll also do it on save, which is super duper rad. I love. So now it's gonna all just be a lot prettier in general. And we can also do this. Let me add an existing item. I think the defaults are fine, but it's probably better to have it in here in case I want to modify it. We have like attribution tolerance, keep first attribution on same line. Then you can add things. New line exception. Comment padding. Format on save. That's kind of nice. You can just have it right here. It's almost nicer than in the settings. Thickness separator, X binding, new line markdown extension binding. So if I come into a view here, podcast artwork. All right, so well, let's see what we want to do. Underneath this list view, we're gonna have a list view. Actually, let's do this. Oh my goodness!
While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it, nothing is impossible.
Oh my goodness, Alicia, thank you for the gift subs. That's rad. That's crazy. You're silly. Thank you so much. 10 people, 10. That's the most I've ever seen, I think, in a row. Alicia, thank you for the gift subs.
While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it, nothing is impossible.
Anki555, DJ Ebib, Ancient Coder now, Darkwood 80, Shezpa, Shepzi, Quad Bomb, KevDev, Bill Ashton, .commie, Multiomo, all from our good friend Alicio, coming in real hard.
Hey friends. While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it, nothing is impossible.
You are silly. Thank you, good sir. Very cool. Coming in with the subs. Keep it going. You all get new emotes. Let those emotes fly. That's what I say. Get those mooches. Get that coffee, and soon a little Mott's near you. Probably next week. Let's use our toolbox here. If it works.
While you're gonna wake up and work
hard at it. Nothing is impossible. Put down a list view. I kind of like the list. At least it'll spell out a few things for us here. We need to fix that new line. I thought we fixed it. Guess not. All right. It's awesome. It's gonna keep going. So we're just gonna keep coding, I guess. We'll do a binding to podcasts.
While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it, nothing is impossible.
Okay, so we're gonna need to spec out a little info here. so let us go into our services, mock data service, and we are going to create a new model. We do have podcast episode.
While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it.
Nothing is impossible. All right, so podcast episode's going to have a few things. Let's see what we had before. Before we had, I think, some feed info in it.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up
And work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. So let's go ahead and take a look at Hansel minutes /RSS. That should be it. Nope. /feed. Nope. Well, good thing we have this here inside of my mock data service, because I know exactly where it is.
While you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
There we go. All right, let's see what we have here in our RSS feed. What we can do is take that RSS and come into my model and do edit, a special, XML's classes.
Wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
All right, so it's probably not exactly what I want, but definitely did it. Like, this should be each item. Description field.
Some people dream of success while you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible. All right, so is there a way to make this pretty, like pretty XML? So this is the podcast URL. There's like an author field, an enclosure, duration, which has a date time on it. That's interesting. But what was pub date, link, URL to the artwork.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
Zultra Lord, thank you for the follow as well. After all of those great gifted subs, tier 1, super duper thankful. Thank you so much. Super duper rad. So, other sponsors? I'm kind of curious what this even brings in. Like a summary field, stuff. Oh, there's another class. RSS channel item GUID. Class enclosure. Yeah. XML to C#. XML. Look at this website. It's literally in the name. Heard it. So that gives us nicer things. That is for sure. I like that. Cool. That looks good. So let us pull in this. That's a much nicer thing. Kim, I don't know what you're talking about. Didn't link to me. So, but let us put that in. That'll probably be nicer. We'll do namespace Hanselman.Models. Link. This is the link class. Image 2. Gotta have image 2, I guess. Owner, category, which also has category, can't be the same name, which is great. Category of a category. But what I also like to do is this pretty XML, and then first you can do this. Turn pretty. I don't even know if that's it. I'm just going to random websites. Nope. Also not helpful. That's not what I wanted. There's a XML visualizer. what I want. I think this JSON format, no? XML tree. Oop, there we go. So now what we can see is that there is some info, a link, there's channels. Inside the channel is going to be item, which is nice. The question is, do we have to load the entire file the entire time, I guess? Like if we save this, how big is this drop? Right? If we go to our desktop and say new text, open this up. How big? 1.34 megs. That is not an ideal. That's a large text file. So, like, ideally, well, we're gonna cache that offline, but that's a lot of stuff. Like, and most likely what we want to end up doing is probably we probably want to create a backend service at some point that sort of is smart enough to pull down that data when it needs to and then serialize it into our object. So I'm not sure. What am I going for with my beard? I'm just growing it out. Not going for anything special. So I think what we want to do is, and my day is great, Sushi. That is correct. So let me go in here and I'm going to do a new model. And we're going to call this an RSS raw. And I think that is specifically what we want to pull in here. Boom. So more than anything, what we actually want to do is not do all of this in the mobile phone, but we probably want to put this into an Azure function that we can then call. And the Azure function will have like some sort of cache of the data and it will return only what we need. So let's figure out what we need from this podcast in general. So we know that a podcast episode, would you have a RSS raw model? It sounds more like it is a model. I mean, these are all just the things.
Well, you're gonna wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible.
Well, I actually went to go grow my beard out longer, and then I went to go get a haircut, and I was like, "Can you just sort of trim just a little bit?" And then they went to town. So, but eventually during the summer, I'll shave it all off. So it can only go so far. Thank you, Travi Dale, for the subscription on your Twitch Prime. I super appreciate that. You only get one a month, so boom. Really appreciate that. Super duper nice. I mostly just want to go for the Shia LaBeouf look, and that's it. So at least here in our data feed, we will bring this in. This will say category 2, I guess, maybe subcategory. All right, so let's look at our certification here. So if I look into that's the author, the item is actually what's important. So inside of every podcast, we're going to need a public string title, like what's important here. There's, we don't really care about encoded information. Content, we'll do a public string description. Get set. Then author. Not sure. Author. I don't know if we need the author necessarily. Probably need like a public.
I'm way up, I feel blessed.
DJ B, thank you for the follow as well. I appreciate that. Coming in for the follow. Let's put in a string of a MP3 or MP3 URL. That sounds good. And then artwork. Get set. Duration. That's kind of cool. Public string duration. All right. There's a summary, which is the same as description, so that's fine. Subtitle. That's fine too. Keywords, iTunes, explicit. Oh, we should do that. Public, explicit. Get set. Episode type, iTunes full. Episode public. Yeah, get set. I'll set that as a string since it is a string. And I assume that, where's the episode type? Type. Yeah, very crazy RSS reading. So that should be good, I think, for all of it. If I look at what we have, anything else that we... Oh, is there a link to the podcast? Squid? How do I get the... There's usually a URL to the thing. I don't know. Probably it. Yeah, no. It did auto aggressive is what it said. Auto mod. I think that's okay. Question is, where is the link? There's an item, and usually there's a URL. I'm just missing it somewhere. That's the MP3 artwork. That's peculiar. Huh. So I'm curious if, let's say I go to merge conflict /RSS. We have a, I guess maybe there is no URL. Oh yeah, there's a link. Each item has a link in it. Link. Cancel minutes. Permalink. Yeah, it's like his doesn't have a link in it, which is weird. Yeah, you would think it would be link to it in general. If I look back at the service, I'll just double check here just to make sure. Link doesn't use it. Peculiar. Oh, there it is. But that is in GUID. Is permalink false? Show ID. That's it. Okay, so that has it. That was from not too long ago. So it's GUID. How come The GUID is not everywhere. GUID permanently. Oh, there's two. Text. False. Description. Huh. GUID. Very strange. Like over here. If I go into his, this is fun for everyone, going through RSS. Oh, you're good. I'm just figuring out Hanselman's RSS feed. It's very strange, loose. That's what is going on. I'm curious if there is an episode. Oh, Hanselminutes.com/this. Yeah, that's what it is. So, yeah. So this is okay. So I know what's happening. There's a new API inside of. Yeah. There's a new API inside of it. So notice up top here, there's just a GUID. And then down here, there's actually an episode iTunes ID. Those link each other up together. Stupid. So we just need to look at the GUID, basically. Oh, no, there's not. So there's a new feature in Twitch that is more real time. So the lag is like now super duper slow. They enabled it basically for almost everyone, which is rad. Okay, cool. All right, so that's good. All right, so what we want then is what we should do is yes, podcast number and then a public string episode URL get set. Cool. And then we'll kind of mock this out a little bit. I think that should be enough info for us to go. I think so. I like that. I like that. We can mock out the first few. I also was thinking that on the podcast itself, here we have like hosts and host names and category, Twitter, website. What we actually need is some URLs. So if I go inside of here, what we need is a public string of Apple Podcasts URL. We need a Google Podcast URL. Need a Overcast URL. Overcast, one word or two words? Overcast, one word. We need a Pocket Cast URL. Pretty sure Pocket Cast is, ooh, yeah, uppercase Pocket Cast. Two words. We need a Spotify URL. Public string. We need a Stitcher URL. And then we need a public string, a TuneIn URL, public string Castro URL. Boom. Cool. All right, that's good. Services, yeah. Oh, probably a list of services. I see. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. So many services. Podcast, that's a better idea. Podcast service. Boop. Good. And then what we can do here is we can do public class, and then we can do public string title. The URL. Oh. So many services. That is correct. So then we can do a public list of podcast service. We'll say services, podcast services. All right. And then that's nice because, yeah, we can then just do something like on each podcast when we mock it up. We can then do something like this back, and then we can do new podcast goes new podcast service, and we'll do a title. Right, and then Genius Kim, everyone's mocking out services. So we can do Apple Podcasts. What I should do though is copy something like this. Apple Podcasts. And we'll do